Without self-confidence, life feels like walking through fog with no map moving, but never truly arriving. You can be talented, smart, and hardworking. But if fear controls your voice and your choices, your true potential stays locked. Many people live quietly, afraid to speak, afraid to fail, and afraid to be noticed. So stay with us till the end, because this story might be the confidence switch you've been waiting for. Once upon a time in a crowded town, there lived a small shopkeeper who earned his living by selling spices and grains. He had a simple family, a wife and 2 children. The younger one was bold, quick to talk, and full of energy. But the elder child was gentle and quiet, always thinking, always hesitating, always afraid of saying the wrong thing. Because the elder stayed silent, neighbors assumed he was slow. Some people laughed behind his back. Others took advantage of his kindness. And though it hurt, he swallowed his feelings and never argued. The shopkeeper, however, was not patient. Whenever customers came, he wanted his elder child to speak confidently, to bargain, to handle money like a grown person. But the more he pushed, the more the child froze. And the more the child froze, the harsher the father became. "Why are you like this?" the shopkeeper would shout. "Stop acting weak." Those words didn't make the child stronger. They made him smaller. His confidence cracked a little more each day. As years passed, the fear began to poison everything. In school, he knew answers, but couldn't write clearly during exams. His hands trembled. His mind went blank. The fear of mistakes became bigger than the questions themselves. Slowly, his grades dropped. Slowly, his hope dropped too. When he grew into a young man, his father called him to the shop. "You'll work with me now," he said. "No more excuses." Terrified of disappointing him again, the young man agreed. But his nervousness followed him like a shadow. He misheard customers. He mixed orders. He spoke softly. Sometimes people asked for change, and he panicked and counted wrong. Each mistake made his father angrier. Each angry word made the young man more afraid, and the cycle kept getting worse. Then one afternoon, when the shopkeeper went out to deliver goods, 3 slick-looking men entered the shop. They spoke with confidence and smiled like they owned the place. "Your father sent us," one of them said. "He told us to take all the sacks to the market right now. Hurry, there's no time." The young man's heart started racing. Something felt off, but fear blocked his tongue. He didn't want to look stupid. He didn't want to question them and be wrong. He didn't want to cause trouble, so he nodded. He helped them load the sacks. One by one, they carried everything away, and just like that, the shop was empty. That evening, when his father returned, his eyes widened in shock. He rushed inside, looked around, and his face turned red with rage. "What have you done?" he screamed. "You gave away everything. Everything I built." The young man tried to explain, but his voice collapsed into silence. The father pointed at the door. "Get out! Don't show me your face again. You've ruined us." Those words hit harder than any slap. The young man felt his chest tighten. He could hear neighbors whispering already. He could imagine the mocking smiles. He could feel his own worth dissolving. With a broken heart, he walked out into the night and wandered to the edge of a river that flowed behind the town. The water looked dark and cold. Shame wrapped around his throat like a rope. "There's no point," he thought. "I'll always fail. I'm a burden. I'm nothing." He stepped closer. Just as he leaned forward, a hand grabbed his shoulder. An old man, thin but steady, had been watching from nearby. He pulled the young man back as if he weighed nothing. The young man shouted, "Why did you stop me?" "Let me go. My life is useless." The old man didn't shout back. He spoke softly. "My son, life is not given twice. If you live, you can rebuild. If you give up, you will never see what you could have become." The young man's voice shook. "But I'm weak. I'm shy. Even my father hates me. People call me stupid. What's the use of living like this?" The old man looked at him carefully, then said, "Come to my home." The young man blinked. "Why?" "Because I have an answer," the old man said, turning to walk. "But answers only work for those who are willing to try." Confused, the young man followed. At the old man's small house, the air smelled like tea and wood smoke. The old man poured a glass of water and placed it in front of him. "I will give you the confidence switch," he said, "but first you must stay with me for 3 days. 3 days. 3 tasks. If you complete them, you won't recognize the person you become." A tiny spark of hope lit inside the young man. He nodded. On the first day, the old man said, "Today you will speak to 10 strangers. Ask them one simple question. What is something you learned the hard way? Write their answers." The young man's stomach twisted. But he walked outside anyway at first. People ignored him. Some gave cold looks. One even laughed. His hands shook, and his voice cracked. But he forced himself to try again and again. By the time the sun set, he had spoken to 10 people. He had filled a page with their lessons. And something unexpected happened. His fear didn't kill him. It faded a little. On the second day, the old man said, "Today you will stand in front of 10 children and teach them something useful. Anything you know well? Speak clearly, even if your voice shakes." The young man panicked. "I'm not educated enough. I'll look foolish." The old man smiled. "They don't need your perfect words. They need your courage. Teach what you know." The young man carried a small bowl of salt and a glass of water. He stood before the children and explained simple things. Why clean water matters. Why too much salt harms the body. Why balance is important. His hands trembled at first. His sentences were short, but the children listened. Some even nodded. One child asked a question, and the young man answered. When he finished, he didn't collapse. He didn't die from embarrassment. He stood taller, and for the first time, he felt something new. Power. On the third day, the old man said, "Now you must go back to your father, apologize, and ask for one more chance." The young man's face went pale. "He will never forgive me." The old man's voice turned firm. "If you run from this, you run from your life. If you want the final advice, you must face the hardest fear." The young man swallowed. His legs felt heavy. But he remembered the first day, the second day, the tiny victories, so he went. When he reached home, his father looked at him like a stranger. The young man bowed his head. "I made a terrible mistake," he said. "I'm sorry, but I want to change. Give me one chance to prove myself. If I fail again, I'll leave without a word." The father stared at him. Then he saw something different. His son's voice was steady. His eyes weren't begging, they were promising. After a long silence, the father said, "One chance." The young man returned to the old man and asked, "Now tell me, what is the secret?" The old man smiled. "You already did it. Your biggest enemy wasn't shyness. It was fear. Confidence isn't magic. It's proof you can survive discomfort. People treat you the way you present yourself. When you stand like you believe in yourself, the world believes too." The young man's eyes filled with tears. "So, the switch is action." "Yes," the old man said. "One brave action, repeated, becomes a new identity." Years passed. That once silent young man became a respected businessman. Not because he never felt fear, but because he learned to move forward while fear was still present. He asked questions. He spoke with customers. He checked details. And he didn't let shame control his life again. Remember this. Self-confidence is not something you are born with. It is something you build. Fear and doubt will always whisper, but courage answers with action. Start small. Speak once. Try once. Step out once, and watch everything change. If you liked this story, please give it a like and leave a comment so more people can see it. I'll be back with another inspiring story. Till then, stay patient, stay grateful, and keep moving forward.